Most people missed it. While the world watched trade wars, tariff threats, and political headlines, something much quieter happened in the background. Billions of dollars shifted direction. No speeches, no dramatic negotiations on television, just capital moving through the system. In February 2026, $36 billion flowed from Japan into the United States, and almost nobody noticed. Yet that single move may have quietly shifted the balance of power inside the global economy. It didn't come through a treaty or a diplomatic summit. It came through investment, a strategic one. On February 18, 2026, the United States and Japan announced a series of major investments across 3 American states. The number sounded almost routine in the news cycle: $36 billion committed to projects in Ohio, Texas, and Georgia. But this wasn't just another international investment announcement. It was the opening move of a much larger plan. The first tranche of Japan's $550 billion commitment to strengthen economic ties with the United States. Most analysts treated the announcement like a trade story, a diplomatic visit, another chapter in international economic cooperation. But that interpretation misses the point entirely. This isn't really about trade. It's about supply chains, energy security, and the architecture of future industry. The first project sits in Ohio, where roughly $33 billion is going toward the construction of an enormous natural gas power facility in Portsmouth. When complete, the plant is expected to produce around 9.2 gigawatts of electricity. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the capacity of the largest nuclear power plant currently operating in the United States. If built as planned, it would become the largest natural gas-fired generating facility in American history. The second project is located in Texas. About $2.1 billion will fund the Texas Gulf Link Deepwater Crude Oil Export Terminal. Once fully operational, the terminal could handle between $20 and $30 billion worth of crude oil exports every year. That means massive volumes of American oil moving directly into global markets through a major export hub along the Gulf Coast. The third project is much smaller on paper, around $600 million, but its strategic importance may be even greater. In Georgia, a facility operated by Element 6, part of the De Beers Group, will manufacture synthetic industrial diamond grit. These microscopic diamond particles are essential for cutting, polishing, and shaping extremely hard materials used in advanced electronics, aerospace components, and modern weapons systems. When production begins, the plant is expected to supply the entire United States demand for this material. Individually, each project looks like a normal industrial investment. Together, they tell a different story. What we're seeing is a compression of timelines. In the past, shifts in global supply chains took decades. Governments negotiated trade agreements for years. Capital flowed slowly as companies adjusted production across borders. Today, those transitions are happening far faster. Strategic frameworks get established, investment committees choose projects, and tens of billions of dollars move in a matter of months. Behind the announcements sit powerful institutions. The companies involved, SB Energy, Sentinel Midstream, and Element 6, are the visible operators, but the financial backbone comes from 2 Japanese government-backed organizations, the Japan Bank for International Cooperation and Nippon Export and Insurance. These are not ordinary financial institutions. They function as instruments of Japanese economic strategy. When they back a project, it signals that the investment aligns with national policy. In other words, Japan isn't just investing for profit, it's investing for security. For decades, much of the global economy operated under the assumption that China would remain a stable supplier of key industrial inputs, energy components, rare earth processing, manufacturing materials, and synthetic diamonds. That assumption is rapidly fading. Governments are now asking a different question. What happens if geopolitical tensions disrupt those supply chains? Control over critical materials and production capacity suddenly matters far more than it did a decade ago. China currently dominates much of the world's rare earth processing and synthetic diamond manufacturing. Those industries sit at the foundation of advanced technology, military equipment, and high-precision manufacturing. The new investments in the United States quietly begin to reduce that dependency. If the strategy succeeds, the United States gains several advantages at once. The Ohio power facility would provide massive baseload electricity capacity, something increasingly valuable as artificial intelligence data centers demand enormous amounts of constant power. Modern AI infrastructure doesn't just require processors and data, it requires uninterrupted energy. The Texas export terminal strengthens America's position as a global energy supplier by expanding the capacity to move oil directly to international buyers. And the Georgia plant secures a domestic supply of synthetic diamond grit, ensuring that critical manufacturing tools are produced inside allied supply chains rather than sourced from geopolitical rivals. China, by contrast, loses influence over several of those industrial choke points. Every ton of synthetic diamond grit produced domestically reduces reliance on foreign suppliers. Every barrel of oil exported through American terminals strengthens the United States' role in global energy markets. Every new gigawatt of power supports industrial competitiveness at home. But there may be an even deeper consequence hiding inside the Ohio project. Massive power generation attracts data infrastructure. The world's largest concentration of data centers already sits in Northern Virginia, where grid capacity is reaching its limits. Technology companies building artificial intelligence systems are now competing for something far more basic than computing power: electricity. Without new energy supply, data center expansion slows. Southern Ohio sits within transmission distance of the eastern U.S. grid and within reach of major digital infrastructure corridors. When enormous power capacity appears in a region, data centers tend to follow. The Georgia Diamond facility is expected to begin production first, possibly as early as 2027. The Ohio Power Project would likely come online in phases beginning around 2028, eventually reaching full capacity near the end of the decade. The Texas Gulf Link terminal could begin exporting crude oil around 2029 once approvals and construction are complete. By 2030, if these projects proceed as planned, global supply chains may look noticeably different. Energy flows could strengthen between the United States and Asian allies. Critical industrial materials may shift toward allied production networks, and countries watching these moves, South Korea, Germany, Vietnam, and others, may start forming similar supply partnerships. In February 2026, $36 billion quietly moved from Japan to the United States, not into financial markets, not into speculative assets, into power plants, export terminals, and industrial manufacturing. Physical infrastructure. Most people saw a routine investment announcement. What they may have missed was the early stage of a much larger realignment, where nations rebuild the foundations of their economies around trusted partners rather than global convenience. The move has already started. The world is only beginning to notice.